out here. Marco, let me borrow this spiffy jacket because it's freezing. Why is it so cold? We got to do something.
It's not cold.
We need
San Francisco.
That's the best part of the car. Like, I love little bullshit like that, you know?
It's not
a shifter.
Yeah. And it's CAE shifter with hard-mounted transmission.
Oh, is that what does it?
Yeah. You
So
see, like,
precise.
even the diff and the rear subframe, all hard-mounted.
Right.
You know, with the Heim jointed arms.
And it's not bad. Like, everyone always complains about, like, NVH and all that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, when you're really high in the R's, you can feel it a little bit, but doesn't BMW hard mount everything now anyway? Like, stock?
They do. So starting with the F10 M5, they hard mounted the rear subframe, and then took that, translated it forward with the M4 and the M2.
And I've driven an M4. You don't notice.
Yeah. Most of the vibration actually comes from the diff.
Right.
I personally don't mind it. It's kind of just like being in an airplane. But
yeah, exactly.
I bought this car. This is the first BMW I ever owned. I bought it with, I think it had 23,000 miles. And it had some nice factory BMW performance parts on it, and I really didn't expect to do that much with it.
Right. What made you like start?
Well, it initially started as a street car, so really I just wanted, you know, more power for the street. So, you know, I did all the basics. You know, I did a tune, I did downpipes, intercooler, intake filter. You know, I had some, you know, some decent coilovers and a few other things on the car. Nothing crazy. Yeah, you know, I just built it as a street car, started taking it to the track, and yeah, it was a lot of fun on the track, but it would just heat soak with the turbo motor. So
what tracks did you run it on?
Mostly just Thunderhill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's when we got talking about doing the V8 swap, and I think the V8 swap was a swap that, you know, everyone talked about. You know, I wasn't, you know, I don't think me or anyone involved in the project is unique coming up with that idea. I think when the E92 came out, everyone loved the motor, but like, this car's heavy, it's big. What if, you know, it was smaller and lighter? And then I think when the 1M came out, it came out with an N54, which a lot of people were disappointed. A lot of people wanted it to have the X65 motor. You know, so it was a swap that a lot of people talked about, that a lot of people wanted. I just think, you know, I was in the right place. Performance Technic had the right staff, and you know, we just were the right people to do the swap, and we just did a really good job with it. You know, I think the techs do the swap. They really, you know, took pride in making everything work, and making everything run like a factory car, which is exactly what I wanted and envisioned.
Right.
So they really didn't disappoint me on that front. But the finished car with the 4-liter was so good. I mean, it's indescribable. When you drive an N54 on track, it's fun, you know. It has a progressive throttle curve. It like throws you in the back of your seat. Like, it feels like a freaking rocket ship. But it's hard to predict, and as it gets hotter, it heat soaks and gets a lot softer. The throttle gets delayed. So when you go to the 4-liter, the throttle's just linear, and it's instant. It's the same no matter what temperature. And it's just such an easier and more predictable car to drive.
Yeah, it feels awesome. Yeah. And then when you did the Dinan, like, that
so
icing on the cake there, right?
Where the S65 swap in itself was, you know, something that came out of imagination. It came out of discussion that not just, you know, like I said, everyone's had. Once you do the S65 swap, you go back to discussing, you go back to ideas and talking about things. And, you know, the obvious thing to talk about would be, what if, you know, the car instead had a stroker, a 4.6 liter? So that was something we always talked about and obsessed about. A lot of my friends have E92s, and we always, you know, talked about strokers and, you know, what if. Dinan built S3R, which is their signature package M3. It had all of their parts, including the stroker. And I found that car in Washington for like $55,000. And this is years ago, which at the time is a super good deal. The motor itself is about 30 grand.
Right.
That's excluding the core charge, shipping, tax, etc. So I thought it was a smoking deal. And I bought that E92 and I enjoyed that car for a while. But, you know, naturally, you know, there was always in the back of my mind, I always knew that that motor was going to come out of that E92 and go into the 1 Series. And later we did that.
And this thing, you did like the 1M wide body while it's still at the N54?
Yeah. So basically, the timeline of the car was bought the car, lightly modified it, got it to full bolt-on, enjoyed it in that sense. Then I went, did the Evolution Raceworks wide body front end, which allowed me to run a square setup, which really dialed out a lot of the understeer, because these cars understeer like a freaking pig.
Right.
In narrow body form from the factory, and they only get worse when you tune them. So I drove that for a while. Then I did the 1M body work on the car, so I had it as a 1M clone with the N54 full bolt on, and then we put the 4-liter, and then did the 4.6 liter stroker.
It's sick. And this has carbon roof. What else is carbon on this?
Yeah, so, you know, in addition to just throwing power on a car, you know, you really have to balance the chassis out, and you really have to take weight out. You know, BMWs are notoriously heavy, so you know, we lighten the car through a bunch of RevoSport parts. So, you know, the hood, the trunk, we took out the roof and we put on their 1x1 carbon roof. You know, we deleted the rear seats. We put on a roll bar. The car has Recaro Profi SPA seats, which cut a lot of weight out of the car. Deleted the curtain airbags, cut a lot of weight out of the car. Did other things, run a smaller battery, you know, and just really look at where we can cut weight out.
It really doesn't, it really feels like a lot lighter. Like I could feel it, you know what I mean? Like I had the 135 and then now my buddy has it and it just still, it's heavy. This thing that just feels nimble and ready to go.
Yeah.
What?
This video's gonna be insane.
This thing is sick. Driving it was awesome. Marco's the man for letting me take it down the
Dude,
road.
of course, man. Like,
And
I'm just glad you made it out here. Like, I feel like I've been telling you to come out here for like
it's been a while.
3 years or something.
Maybe if I had come out sooner, I would be driving one of these.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
Came out here and drove this while you were still sitting on all those parts. I guarantee you'd have
A Daytona Violet on Hurricane.
Yeah, you'd be
That would've
driving
been-
it. You still
would've
got
been
the
all-
Hurricane Club?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, damn.
So that's it. We're gonna try to make our way back to the city now. What are we, like 30, 40 minutes out?
About like 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's the end of the video. What the fuck? It looked like we were gonna get like air. I was like, all right, here we go.